Hi everybody. I told you I was going to come back and I was going to make these plants for you and show you how to make the cute little wooden uh, log uh, box. And I've got the small one here. This one's adorable. I love the mossy look on them. It just looks good. And then I'll show you how to make the plants to go with it. But as I was messing around, I found out another way to make plants. And I'm going to show you that one too. And it was this cute little plant here, and it's made the same way as these, so I'm going to show you at the same time. Anyway, first I'm going to show you how to make the box so we have something to put them in. What I do is I take pieces of paper like this. You can use any paper you want to. I just like to use these because it gives me a specific size to work with, and they're all the same. Now over in the craft department at Walmart, you can find these little needles, which I really like, but you can use a skewer. But I like these metal ones because stuff doesn't stick to it a lot. And if I want to, I can take just like a little bit of baby oil or something and rub it on there and then wipe it off. And it keeps it from sticking to that glue a lot. And a lot of times the paper will stick to the glue. And I don't want the wood from the skewers. But anyway, I use these. I like these the best to use for this. But you can use whatever you please. You can even buy paper the same color so that you don't have to paint it. Anyway, what I do is I'll take it up like this. I'm just pulling the paper up to this edge. And I put a little bit of glue on there already. But I want this to get this to start rolling. To get it to start rolling, I'm just going to start pushing at it. This one is not going to be easy because I'm online now because I'm showing you how. But normally it goes very well. Now here we go. Here we go. Now I'm just going to roll that up right on top of that glue there. Then I'm going to slip it off like this. I'll put it in my hand and just roll it like this. Then you've got your nice little tube. Everyone matches. Depending on what you use, whatever you start with is best to use the same thing. I mean, I made some, now these weren't made the same. These are all different sizes on here, on this one. And then they're all different sizes on this. They look good either way. But I just prefer to use this type because I've got this stuff handy. It's not expensive to use. And there's quite a bit on the packs. When you buy the packs of those, there's quite a bit on it. You know, I like this glue to be moved around a little bit though. I got too thick. That'll be oozing out the tip if I don't move it. So I'm just moving it back a little. I take my little stick. You might want to have to get used to doing this. This takes just a little while for you to get used to doing. But you're actually making yourself a few little logs. See how that went under real easy that time? That's because I handled it differently. You know, the first time you handle it, you just change up as you do things. It doesn't matter if it goes crooked because you can always cut it off. What you don't like, you can cut off of these. Now I'm just rolling it. Get that glue moving around. And there we go. See, that's how to do that. I'll do it one more time for you just so you know how to make these because I've got a whole bunch made up for you. But I just want you to get an idea how to make those because that's what's going to make your whole basket. These are used on the basket on all these little logs. Now you can crunch them up a little bit and then straighten them back out, and that'll make it look a little bit more like a tree. But you really don't need to. They look good. They look really nice when they're done. And they look real. They really look like logs. And then, see, I'm putting a little glue down here on the edge. Then I'm just moving it upward. like this. I tried it with the sticky ones too. I tried it with the sticky pads too, the Paste-It Notes. And those work just about the same as this. You know, because you're still going to have to put glue on there, even though you've got that sticky place on it, because it won't stay stuck all the way with the sticky pad. I thought I was going to get smart and just use the sticky pad, and it didn't work that way. Now, that didn't go down, so I got to pull it back a little bit and just make sure it's rolling around the piece of metal pretty good. Or shish kebab skewer, if you want to use that. People even use toothpicks or those party tip tip things to roll these up. Whatever size you want is what you're going to want to go with. I like this because this has just got a real nice size. If you look at it next to my hand, it's pretty thin, but I think it's a little bit thinner than a skewer. But skewers would be fine, you know. But there you go. That's all you do. Little glue on the tip and roll it up, and make sure you make a lot of them, so you have for anything you want to make. Now, for the bottom of the box, this part here, what I used is I had an orange crush box, and I like my my bottom to be really hard. I like it to be like on an orange crush box. I'm going to stick together 4 of these because I want it to be really stuck good together. I'll normally use, and another thing I use is, if you use toilet paper rolls, after you're done with your toilet paper, you can glue one together, glue the other one together, and then you glue the 2 together. Then that's a perfect one. And this will make 4 different boxes. Cut it in half, then cut it in half again. And you've got 4 bottoms to your boxes. And it's nice and hard this way. So I'm going to set this down here, and I'm going to spray this so you get an idea. Now I'm just blowing a little bit. Doesn't need to dry all the way. Then I'm just going to sit this down here, right on top of this one, because, as I told you, I want it to be 4 thick. This is only 2 thick here. Then I'm going to take 2 more. These ones I already glued together and cut. I think this was out of a toilet paper roll here. And then I'm going to put that right on top of that. Then I just cut the excess off. And you don't need to at this time. You can wait until you're done with the project, and then you can take it off. Now I'm going to take, just anything. And I'm going to scrape it like this, just to make sure it's adhering real good and there's no bubbles in there. Now this stuff sticks really good. This is the Elmer's glue, the Elmer's spray. But, you know, I got this down at the Dollar General. I think it was about $1.50 for that size jar. And it sticks really well. You can use any kind of glue you want to. It's just on this kind of stuff I prefer to use the spray. Also, let me show you. Here's one. Now see how thick that is? That's 4 pieces stuck together. But what I did is I took an orange crush box and a Coke box, and I cut it open. You can still see where my pop's at. But I cut it open, and I put the colorful sides together, like one on top of the other. And then I did that with another side of the box, and then I put the 2, then I sprayed one side of this and stuck the other one right on top of it. And I came up with this, and then I cut it out. I can use this anytime. I'm not going to use it now because I don't need it now. But it's dry and it's ready for any project. And look how thick that is. That'll make for a really nice bottom, and it's really hardy. Another thing you can use, like we have this one for this. Then we just cut this out, but the glue's not dry on these edges, so I don't want to get that on my scissors, so we'll just grab a different one. Here's one I already glued together, and there's 4 pieces there. You can't tell, but there's 2 here and 2 here that I've glued together, and we can cut this out. Don't have to. Like I said, you can make your project right on top of this and then cut the edges off when you're done. It's up to you. Now this scissors is normally for my plants. Move that over there. And then this is one I made too. This is out of the toilet paper holders. The one that I did with the toilet paper holders. But these work great, and you can save them, glue them together. All you got to store is these flat pieces, and then you glue that together, and then you'll store this just like this. You'll store them glued together just like this. Easy to paint on because the paint soaks in real nice. And the lines, it doesn't matter if the line's showing this. It's the bottom of a box. You know, you can do the bottom of a suitcase or anything with it. Now that we've got this, I want to, let me get the smaller one too, because what I'd like to do is do this smaller one first, and then do one of the bigger ones. You know, like it'll be about that size for the big one, or even this size. It doesn't matter. Whatever you decide is a good size for you. I would like to do a smaller one on this, so I'm going to take one of my, just to see what size I want, I'm going to take this up and just put it close to this, and I'm going to nip it right off there so I know what size I need to make. These will cut easy because you don't have glue all the way up in it. You just got it on that 1/4. Now, if you notice, that's like cutting it in half almost. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut it in half because that makes a good size. I've got a few of these cut for my box. And I'm going to make them 3-tiered boxes. I'm going to make 3-tiered on the big ones too. Here's one more. Let me see if I have enough going one way. Okay, 1, 2, 3 for one side, 1, 2, 3 for the other side. And these 2 extras are going to be for these sides here. But I'm not going to cut those yet. I'm going to start by sticking these to this paper. I'm just going to go right like this, because I just want to stick it to the paper. I'll be trimming that paper off at the end, right before I paint it, so you don't have to worry about anything with that. One there, and one there. This is how easy this is. It's child's play. And then I want to put some in between. So I'm going to use these and go in between. I'm going to go, okay, about how big do I need that? And I'm going to cut a piece off. Let me see if that's about the right size. It's almost there. Well, I can still use it. I will use that size. Now I'm going to cut this other edge off so that I have 2 of them the right size. And then I'm going to put some glue in here. And I'm going to make sure when I put this glue on, I'm going to make sure I get some on this edge here so it catches the top. See that edge right there? Now I got both sides. I got glue on both sides, and then I'm going to just put some down here. You don't need to put that much. I just got carried away. And then hit this side. Now I'm going to stick my pieces in there. And I'm going to make them work. These are a little too big, but I'm going to make it work. Now what you're going to do is you're going to let this dry. While this is drying, I've got another one ready to go, so that we don't have to stop the video. Now, that's all you do on that. Now, when it dries, it's going to look like this. Here's the one I'm making here. You can make them any size you want. Your first cuts is what decides what size you're going to make. Now from this point, I'm going to go over the sides first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that up there and say, oh, it's about that size. And I'm just going to cut this off. Then I'm going to lay it up there and see if that's the right size. Oh, that's a perfect size for that one. And then I'm going to cut another one exactly the same size. Now I'm going to put glue just on these places here, which is going to secure both sides because you're going two different directions. Oop! Gotta watch how much glue I'm squeezing out of here. I'm real strong today. I'm gonna lay this down on its side so the glue's there right off the bat. These size bottles are really nice to work with, and then you can just refill them. Then I'm gonna stick this one here. See there? I just stuck them on like that. See, I just set them on there. It doesn't matter if there's any dripping. It looks great once you paint it. It's not a big deal. Now, and it makes it look older. Well, it makes it look more outdoory or more woodsy. Then I'm going to cut the in-between piece like I did with the other in-between place that I have right here. See that in-between place right there? That's what I'm going to do here now in the front. I'm going to size it up. I'm going to go, oh, about there. And I'm going to put my fingers down here and cut this off. Now, is that right? Oh, that's perfect size. Perfect size. Yes, it is. And then I'm going to make another one just by measuring it to this one to make sure I have both of them the same size. So I've got them sitting together, and I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to cut off that extra piece. Now, if you aim it down, it's not going to fly across the room. Now, on this, make sure you're getting those edge of those ones here so that the side of your tube that has the hole in it has something to lay against and dry on it. Now here, right there. Now I'm going to stick that right in there and say, uh-oh, is that right? Yeah. And stick that one in there. Look at there. Turned out perfect. Now I just push that together and I'm going to let it dry again. You let it dry in between each of these little things you do. I normally have a fan going. I'm making a lot of them at once. But to save time, I made some up in advance so that I could just show you, without you having to. I like to, the line that's on see that line on there? No, right there. Right there, there's a line right there where the paper's rolled up. I like to put that down to where it's touching the glue. I had it sticking out on the side, and I don't like it there because when you go to paint it, that still shows, and I don't like that. So I like to make it where, this one too. Turn this a little bit. Okay, that's good. Now see, that's where you should be. Now you've got 2 layers, one more layer to go. Now I'm going to set this one aside and get the one I've got ready to go. Now here it is. It dried very quickly. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Let me get one of these. And, well, I don't need this. I've got these 2, so I just need to cut the little pieces on this one. Now, I'm going across here. Now I'm not holding it strong enough. Find out where your line is. There's my line right there. See where the paper comes together right there? I like that one to lay down on the paper, on the glue. Now this one's just a little bit too big. Let me cut this one down a little bit. Because I cut these to go with that first one that I glued, and I keep switching these off so we have dry ones right away. Then I'm going to cut this one off to the right size too. Let me see if this is the right size. Yes, it is. You find the line. See the line there where the paper is? We're going to lay that down on the glue. And that brings me up to the third level. And that's where I am right now. See there? See there? Now I just got to put the pieces in between these two. Now these are really small ones here, so I'm just going to take these scrap pieces here. I think these will be plenty big enough to go in between. Oh yeah. It's just a little bit too big. But you know these are for dollhouses, so you need them pretty small. Let me see if those are close. Oh, those are pretty close. Now I'm going to put my glue on, making sure that I touch right here so that it gets glue all the way across, like that. Then I'm going to go like this. See there? I got glue all the way across. Now I'm going to open this up. Just pop it up because I made it flat when I cut it. And we'll just pop it right in there. Right in between. And just hold that shut with my little fingers here. See how that went in? Went in real nice. Then I'm going to put this last one in. Making sure that that paper, the open part, is toward the glue. Now it doesn't matter if your end goes slightly over or something. It'll just make it look more authentic. And then now we've got the three together. That's how tall we wanted it to be. At this point, we're going to let it dry. And then we paint. After it's dry, then we're going to paint it brown. So let me get some paint. Let me get some brown paint here. Now it's glued to your board now. It's glued to your board real nice. So before we do the job here, we're going to cut off the excess. I want to cut this board off as close as I can to the logs before I paint it. So I'm just taking my scissors up as close as I can get. See how close that got? I'm going to do that all the way around. See? Turn it. Get that other end off. Now remember, you can make these as big or small as you want. Now that one I actually cut the log, but I'll just put that in the back. Or it'll look like a log that has a hollow place in it. So it really doesn't matter. Then I'm going to cut off the last piece. Then I'm going to just go around and touch the tips there to make sure those tips aren't sticking out. Now I'm going to get busy and paint it. For this one, I'm going to need brown paint. So let me grab a tube of brown paint, and we'll go from there. Oop, that's kind of a red brown. Let me see what this one looks like. I don't know why it looks like it's red there. Let me check it out. Looks like brown. It's a brownish red color. I'll use that one this time, just because it's different. Now, where is my paintbrush? I should have a paintbrush right here. I never have what I need when I'm going. Well, here's a little paintbrush. I use this little one. It's got a brisky edge on it. I'll just use that. Just because I want to get this done. Now, I'm going to go around and just I'll stick this brush in these holes to make sure that I'm getting brown paint up in there so that you don't see the yellow. Ooh, this one I'm going to go all the way down because this is the one that I broke the log. If I broke it on both sides. Might be bad. But it's all right. It'll look like a log has gotten eaten on or something if it does that. That's what's good about these natural things when you go to make these natural looking things, is it's not gonna be a big deal. See there? And then I'm gonna go in here and in here. Those are those holes I was telling you about. Now with all that glue, it'll stay nice. The glue's going to make it hard, and it's going to give it a little different kind of dimension because you've got the glue leaking out, and well, this one doesn't even look like it's got any leaking out. But then you want to get the inside. I like getting the inside. I just like paper to be sealed as much as you can. You know, so that it stays for a long time. Just so it's a strong piece. I don't like getting something and having kids play with it and all of a sudden it's broken. This way you don't have to worry if the kids mess with it. Although these are not toys. Excuse me. Now once you got that painted, then I normally turn it over and hit the bottom. Look how nice that toilet paper roll sucks in the paint. I mean, it just like sucks it right in. Now see, you can't even tell that my pot broke. It's just going to be more antique-y looking when I'm done. You know, it's just, see how it looks like, you know, that log was not quite a whole log, but it looks all right. I like to get all the way through these little holes. I'm glad I used this brush. I like to get all the way through these ones that are on the front, just because you're going to see that. So, okay, there we go. Now that one's painted. It's all painted up. Now I'm going to sit it away to get dry, and I'm going to bring out one that's already dry. Okay, here you go. Now, what I like to do next is put the moss on. You know, like this. See what a difference it makes once you get that moss on there. It just makes it look older and see me? Oh, and the only reason that one looks sealed up is because I took the paint and just went over the tip like this. And it filled in the holes. The paint filled, you can tell I have a different color paint here. It just filled up the holes a bit. So that's what I did there. And that's the reason that you don't see the holes there. You could also take glue and put glue over that hole before you paint it. And if you just take it and roll it right over it, it'll seal it right up. You know, it's like a bubble going over it. Then when you paint it, it doesn't even show. See, I'm getting that bubble over it. But it's better if you do it with glue first, you know, and just go from there. Now, what I like to do, though, is I'll take a little... There it is. I made my own turf. And how I made my own turf... Wait a second. I normally use coffee grounds on the top when I'm getting ready to fill that thing. But I had some turf that I got from a yard sale. I thought I'd use that first. But when I ran out of turf, what I did, see, this is the turf. It's called Woodland Scenic Blended Turf. And this is green. And what I do here is I just put some in here so that I have some to work with. And what I made this out of is, you know, when you go into the fake flower area in your hobby store or Walmart, and they have these really soft green foamy mounts that you stick your fake flowers in. Well, that's what this is. And I put it in a blender and just blended it up like that. You know, a food processor works the best. I got one of those too from a yard sale or from a Goodwill or something. That was only like $2 or $3 I paid for it, and it grinds that stuff up so nice. I broke it in pieces, you know, because when you pull it apart, it just like squashes. And you touch it and it makes your fingerprint. It's not the one that's shiny, it's the one that's really that color green. And it's the one that's really soft that if you barely touch it, you're going to put a mark in it. Stuff sticks in it really well. Anyway, I normally take some glue. And I just put it around the bottom first because, well, I'm going to put some down here. And I'll just use my finger. I'm just taking a little bit of glue there. And I'm just going to go touching around the bottom. Then I'm going to take a couple places, just touch right here. Then I'm going to touch there, and maybe I'll touch right here. See how I touch those areas? Now I'm going to take my turf, and I'm going to touch those same areas with my turf. And then knock it off. See? And I just do that here and there. Wherever I feel it, it looks nice. And I just pound it off. Now, look how this is coming out. Isn't that cool? Now, I even wiped some of it off. I had a little bit too much. But touch your glue. Touch your turf. Put your turf in that little place. Now I'm going to put a tiny bit on the side. And put some right here. See where I touched it? I'm just touching it right like that. Then I'm going to dip my finger in there. And I'm going to come over here and touch it with my finger. See there? I got a little bit too much, so I'll just wipe it off. See how I wipe some off? Turn around this side. Wipe the turf off my finger. Come around with some glue. I'm going to get it, have it come down this way this time. And then I'm going to have it just right here on the top, maybe a little bit here. And then I'm going to start dipping my finger in it. See there? Now, I'll shake some of that off and wipe some of it off, but, you know, it's an easy thing to do. I'm going to get this side while I'm here. Just put it somewhere. It doesn't matter where. Now, I'm kind of dusting some off. I think I'm going to fill those holes up with it. Look at that. Those holes you don't like? Put a little turf in there. Let me get some and put it in there. Now I'm just filling up that little hole so that you don't have to see the hole. See there? Now you don't see the holes at all. Don't even see it on the side, really. Because that paint covered. Now that one didn't cover up, so I'm going to put a little bit of turf in there. Some's on my finger anyway. I got some left on there. Now I'm putting a lot on there. There you go. Look there. Oh, doesn't that look cute? There you go. Now you can put, like this one, I I put some diamond glaze on there. Not, I thought diamond glaze. I thought it was Mod Podge, the kind that wasn't shiny in the bottle, and I ended up getting a shiny one. But I don't like these shiny. I like them more like this. Although the ones I made here are shiny and they still look nice. But anyway, there you go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to fill it up. Get this out of the way. And let's show you how to make some plants. Ooh, just a second. I'm just grabbing a washcloth because I know that my hands are going to get gooey. Or my hands are already gooey from that stuff. And I'm just going to go along and wipe this stuff off of my fingers so that I can start on the plants. Now, the plants are you're not going to believe how easy they are to make. There's one girl that actually makes them with tie wraps, like you put on bread on one of the channels here on YouTube. You might want to look that one up because she has an easy way she does hers too. It's not like this, but it's very easy, and she does hers look so real. You know, minor or just minor. Also, if you want to make bases, you can also put cards together. Put a couple of those together, glue them together, and you can make your bases. 4 plants out of that. You know, yeah, about 4. I just thought I would show you that real quick because I brought them out and never got them put together. Now look at that. That's really dry already. That's the one we did earlier. It's nice and dry. That stuff dries so quick. Now I'm just cutting off the extra for when I'm ready to do another one. And I don't have all that extra stuff hanging on there. It's going to be, the one you make is going to be smaller than that anyway. You know, and then you're going to cut off the extra at the end. So you really don't need all that stuff hanging on there on you. Now we've already got this done. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to start my flowers. Flowers are very easy to make and very inexpensive. What I use this floral wire, this floral craft wire. I get this down at Walmart. It's really inexpensive. And you've got so much. I made all those flowers, plus I've made a lot of other things with this. And I still have a full row. So I'm going to pull some of this off. No, that's enough. I already have some made up. Anyway, I pull some of that off. And what I'm going to do is just cut them in pieces. And I'm bending the wire, and I'm cutting it. Then I'm bending the wire. The wire is so thin that it's easy to cut with scissors. It's not a big deal using your scissors on this. I guess if you did it a lot, you might have a problem. I've never had a problem with my scissors from this. And I use it on this little wire all the time. When I'm doing jewelry, I use the jewelry things because I have them out, but for this kind of stuff, this is all I use. Now what I do is, have you ever seen this? This is painter's tape. This is the only roll I have ever bought. I used it for painting at one time. And after that, I still had a lot left. I thought, I wonder if I could make flowers or green leaves and stuff with that. And that's what I do. So what I'll do is I'll pull off a piece of the tape and cut it whatever size. Or rip it. I'm just going to rip a piece off because I want to get her done. Now I lay this out like this. I'll take my little pieces of wire and I'll just lay it out on this tape. Let me just get a few on here. I'll show you what I do. Now I'm just going to keep laying these out. I kind of straighten the ends a little bit as I go, because they are straight plants, because we are making these kind of plants. You're going to just laugh when you see how easy this is. Let me get the rest of these on here. It doesn't mean we're going to use all these, but just get them on there. You can make big ones, little ones, any size you want. But you just want to get those on there. You could even put another one in between because these leaves are so thin when you're done. I should probably have not taken this much up. Yeah, I still have a few more, so I'll just put them in between. Put one here. Ah, that one stuck to me. And I'll put one over here. And it doesn't matter if it's that close together, because I could put, because these are so thin, I could put several in between. I could put one in between each one of these and still be able to cut the right size leaf. Now there we go. That's all I do is I stick that on there. Then I take this top part and I roll it down to meet the line at the bottom. I'm careful when I do this. And I'm pulling it at the same time to make sure that it goes all the way down. And if you notice, now you've got a bunch of little places like this. Now I want to make sure they're nice and secure, so I'm going to take my fingernail and just kind of rub around each one of these to make sure they're stuck permanently. And when you see what I'm going to do next, you're not going to believe this. It's the easiest way to make a plant ever. And it doesn't matter that that one's on the sticky. I'm going to cut part of it off anyway. Turn it over and do the same thing the other side. Just to make sure it's stuck permanently on both sides. And you can see that vein in the middle of your plant, of your leaf. Now this, see, you can see I'm not doing much. I'm just scratching against the wire to make sure that it's stuck down to the tape. There you go. That is done so far. Now, here's the fun part. We're going to get ourselves out. This is a yellow paint pen right here. That's a Sharpie yellow paint pen. Or you can use yellow paint. It's up to you. I'm going to put yellow paint on here so that you can see it done both ways. Oop. Now, I like my yellow lighter, so I'm going to put some white over here and just add a little yellow to it as I go. Now, oh, I'll just use this for now. I'm mixing it to it. Let me show you. Now, I got this. I'm turning this into a kind of an off-white yellow, an eggy yellow. Now I'm going to do a little bit more than that because I like it to have a little bit of yellow color anyway. A little bit more. I just don't want it too yellow. I don't want it to be lemon yellow. Although it looks good lemon yellow too. It looks good either way. But I kind of like it closer to this. I still like it just a little bit more yellow than that. I just don't want it that really bright yellow like I got right there. Because that almost looks like mustard. I think that'll do it. I'll leave this here. I might use that as a paintbrush. Now, if you notice, I've already made all of these. And I've stuck them, there's polymer clay in here because polymer clay never dries up. And I just squish it down again when I'm done with it. Now here's the fun part. Let me get a board because I don't want to get my board all messed up. going to put a board down here. That's one reason I leave these out, because I use them for this and then I use them for that. Now I have an ink pen, a green ink pen here. This is the regular Sharpie, a green Sharpie, the dark green Sharpie. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make lines. Just lines. Some crookedy, some straight, doesn't matter. That's pretty easy. And I'm going to keep doing that for a little bit. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the other side. Make sure we're matched. But you can still see some of the green through the top of it. See what I mean? That's just like scribbling. That's all there is to this. Then I'm going to do the same thing with this side. Now I have two different ways I do this. I do it this way. I always use the felt pen on this one. I used to dab my finger and then just go like this all over, but I kind of like the felt pen look. Then I'm going to cut this in half so I can do it the two different ways so that I can show you both ways. Now this is that paint pen I was telling you about. Yeah, let me read it. It's a Sharpie and it says paint. It's a paint pen and it's oil based. So you don't want to get that on anything because it's oil based. I think they're $2 or $2.99 or something like that for each one, but they last a long time. Now I'm shaking it to get it ready. Then I'm going to open it up and see there, I got it ready. Paint's coming out of it. All you gotta do is hit this and see how that paint's coming out on that. So here we go. Now I'm just putting a few dots here and there and little lines and all kinds of little stuff, things. Now, did that look hard? All I did is just mark it different ways, like there's a storm going on outside. Now let me get the other side. You can do lines, you can do little dots, dashes, whatever you want to do. You're the artist. Now see, I'm just doing anything I want to. It's not important. It's just getting a little yellow on there. That's the whole thing. Now we're going to do it the other way because I want you to see both ways. We'll come back to the pen. Now I'm just going to touch this with my finger. No, I'm not going to do it with my finger. I'll do it with this thing. I'd rather have a paintbrush over here, but as you know, I misplaced that. I had it here. Boy, I'm losing everything. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and do it with this then, because I don't have my paintbrush here. Now, on this one, we've already done this one. I'm letting it dry because it's the paint, the one I do with the paint. Now, I'm going to do this one. Now, with this one, I'm just going to go around and just put marks here and there. See how I'm just getting some marks around? Then I'm going to take my finger and go over it. See? It's just smudged. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. And I'm going to smudge it. Just to give it a little life. Now there you go. Now these are the two different ways I do it. I do the smudgy kind, or I do the felt pen and the... You could do it either way. Now, if you like the brighter yellow, like here, I'll put a few dots of the brighter yellow so that you can see that in there, because some people do like the brighter yellow in there. Sometimes I like it. Now that, we got some in there. Let me get the other side. This just shows that you can use the bright yellow if you want to. Don't need to. But whatever you have in your house, you can make something with it. Anything you're throwing away, you can use. I can make almost anything into a rose. I do roses. I even melt plastic and make roses. But there you go. That's that one. That's that one. Now we're going to see the magic. I'm going to cut these each apart. But as I cut them apart, I am going to go around and to the bottom, just like that. And I'm going to do this one. See how I'm doing it? I'm going from this top point, and I'm just taking it around, and I'm going to cut it off. There's my first one. And here's my second one. Okay, there you go. I got that. Now I'm going to do it with this one, just to show you that you can do it either way. I'm just going around. Now if it'll come off my scissor. Yeah, my scissor. Now let me get this last one. And then we'll switch over to the other leaves. Now what you're going to do after this, very simple, is which one is the... Oh, these are the ones. This is the one with the paint. This is the one without the paint. Now, they both look like leaves to me. There's not much of a difference there. They both look like little leaves. Now we just got to put yellow around the edge. Now this one I'm going to use the ink pen with. And I'm just going to go right around the edge. Well, that one I didn't go around the edge. Here, let me pick it up. It's easier. See, I'm going around the edge and just giving it a little color around the edge. Then I go the other side and I get the other side. There you go. Get the other one. Now I went in too far on this one, so I'm going to give it a little push before it dries. Then go around the edge. Then I'm going to get this other one. And then let me show you what I do with the paint. See? That's all I got to do with that. Those are very cute. Now here's with the paint. Now you can dip it in there. Dip it in your paint. And you can go right around your edge, just like this. See how that goes around the edge? How you're getting your nice line on there? Let me get the other side. See there? Now let me get the back side. A little more paint. The back side. There it is all the way. Now let me get... And they dry quick, even with the paint. It's just such a little project that it dries pretty quickly. Now I'm just getting around these edges. Here's the last side, and we'll be done with this part. I'm going to let these sit here and dry a few minutes. Now let me show you these, though. Look at those. Are those adorable? They can be used together. There's not a big difference in the two. So you have any way you want to do them, you can do them. This was the painted one. This is the one I used with the marker. Let me get this out of the way. And we'll make up a little pot here. What I use for the pot is I make my own what is it called? Porcelain clay. My cold porcelain. And this is the way it comes out. I make it. This was just some colors I didn't like. I put together. And I just use it for this is my throw out part. And I just mix it together. And I use it for inside my pots. Cold porcelain. You can find a recipe online. There's so many good recipes online that I didn't feel I needed to put one of those on. But what I do is I like to put a little spray in here. If you don't use spray, I normally use white glue. This is the first time I've used spray in this one. But I'm sticking it in there. And see how I stuck it in there? Now I like to take some moss. I really like moss. See there? I've got some moss in there. It really makes it forgiving. See, I've got just this little bit here. And I like to put it down in the hole. Looky there. Now I'll stick it down in with, there's my paintbrush. Hello. Okay, now I'm going to stick this, just push the rest of it down in the hole. Don't need a lot of that. That bag will last you for years. If you're using it on these things, it'll last you so long. You know, now I'm just pushing it in there and just letting the cold porcelain get a hold of it. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? And that's just a little bit of moss. That's well, it doesn't say. It's just like peat moss or something, you know, like those ground cover type. You find them in the floral department of Walmart. Anyway, I cut off. I like to cut these off before I get started because I like it to go in a certain way, and I don't want too much of that. I only leave those ends on there because I pick it up with the tweezer and I stick it into clay, like I have here, and I'll stick it in there, and then I don't have to touch the paint. You know, but right now, I'm just going to stick these in here so you can... What I like to do is twist the tip a second, just like that, and then stick them in my box. And twist the tip. Now you notice I'm using both of these together, and you can't tell, because there's not that much difference. You can do it either way. It's your choice. Twist it, stick it in. See how that's coming out? Looking cute. Now I'm going to pull some more off here. These ones that I pre-made ahead. I'm going to cut these off. And twist. 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 You don't have to twist it a lot, just enough to give it a little bit of its own character. Now I'm going to stick this in here. See how nice that's going together? It's filling up really quickly. I'm not going to have to put a lot in here. With this small box, it works really well. But you see? And that's how you do that. It comes out so cute, and it would look great outside of a dollhouse. Anyway, that's how you do that. But while I was doing these, I figured out another way that I could make another plant. And that's this one here. See how cute that is? It looks adorable, doesn't it? I'm going to show you how to do that. I have in my little box of goodies here some leaves that I cut out before painting them. And a little homemade basket that I made. And I have a tutorial that will show you how to do that. So I'll take out one of these. First I'm going to stick my goodie in there. Where's my clay? Here it is. This is my cold porcelain clay. It's called cold porcelain, not cold porcelain clay, but I just say that because it's like clay to me. As I told you, I like to put a little spray in there. And squish that down. Oop, get in there. I need a little more than that. Let me put a little bit more in there. Yeah, this is going to work really well. Now this stuck in my finger because it's pretty fresh. Oh, that's going to be just about right, I think. Oh, yeah, that's just right. Now, what I like to do with this one is I like to give it a little spray, and let me do that on. And then I like to take coffee grains. This is not coffee grains, but this is what I normally use my old coffee grains and just refill these bags, but I found these at a yard sale, and I figured I might as well use it. But then I'm going to just dump some on the top. Yep. I want it to look like dirt. And that just makes it a little bit dirty. I'm going to just push it in there a little bit. See there? Now you got some dirt in there. And that's what I did here too. But then I took a little bit of this. And I like putting it just around the edge. A little bit of my peat moss, or my, like I did in those other pots, like I put on the sides of the other pots. I like to put it just up here around the top. It just, I don't know, it does something different to it. I don't put it all over the pot. I just put it just on that top part. You can do it however you want to. But then, here's the awesome thing. I have a felt pen. Now, this is the one with the small tip on it. See that? Let me see. See the small tip on that? This is a dark green one, just like that other one, except it's a real small tip one. And what I'll do is I'm going to just lay this down here. Wish I could show you that better. Maybe I could show you on this pink paper. Maybe it'll... Let me see if I can show you up close. See, I've got it held onto it like this. And I'm going to just take and make a line down the middle of it. And then I'm going to go lines down like this. Just to give it a little character. And I'm going to do that with several of these. I don't have these made up. Sorry. I didn't think about it. Because I'd come up with it right before I did the video. But see there? That's all I'm doing. I'll put a line down the middle and then scratch both ways. I'll show you one more time. Line down the middle. Just follow that piece that you see in there. Just like that. And then I'm just going up from the bottom up. See there? That's all I did there. See? Can you see that? Can you see that line? And then I do the same thing on the other side. That's all I do on that. Then, excuse me, you can do it with paint, or you can do it with a felt pen. I do it with a felt pen. Take a brown felt pen with this kind of tip, a regular Sharpie. And then I'll go around this edge, just on the top part. I don't need to do it on the bottom. The bottom doesn't show. Put a little brown edge around the edge of it. It just gives it a more realistic look. See there? Just got a little brown on that edge. Let me do it with these two and let you see what it looks like. And then this one. I'm not going to do the whole plant, but I'm just giving you an idea of how you can make your own plants. You don't have to use very many to make these. I used maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I used 12 leaves in this one. And there's my cap. But that's all I do with those. Then what I'll do is I'll cut this bottom off, as you know I do. And I'll just bend it about the shape I want it to go. Like so. And I'll just stick it in my pot. See there? Now that can be, oops, that's a little long. See there? And they look real once you get them in there. Just bend them until you get as many as you want in your pot. This could be a young pot. If I pushed it down further, it could be a young one. See there? That's how you do those. Can you see those lines on that? Very cute. And they look real when they're done. See, this is how it turns out when you keep adding and putting more in there. You can make bigger leaves and then put kind of yellow down the middle to make a this one here. And some brown on the edge to make this one here. See how I put yellow on the edge? And then the yellow in the middle. Now this one I did with the felt pin around the edge. See there? And then this one I singed the edge with a candle. You know, that's a little, I'll have to do that in a video to show you. But that's how you do that. And by George, I think we got it. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to finish up some of these plants, but I hope you have fun making these things because, you know, those little things cost so much for your dollhouses. And look what we come up with. We've got this, and this, and this. And these are just pots that you could make to go outside the house. You could make a whole planter to go all the way across your garden, which is paper. You know, or paper you're going to throw away. Newspapers. You know, you can make anything like that. Then you can make these adorable little plants. Let me show you how nice they are on a little table. Look at that. That's a perfect size plant to go on a little table. And here's another kind that I make. You know, this one has the brown around the edge also. This one here is the one I singed. I think the one singed looks a little more real than this one here. Probably because I put too much ink on that one. I put too much of the brown. But I like it better when it's singed. But I'll need to show you how to do that so you don't get hurt with that. And this is one my granddaughter did. She made this this fern. This is made out of a different stuff. I'll have to show you that. And then she just put a lighter green on top of the darker green. And she made it Barbie size for her Barbies. And she used a paper pot, which I have a tutorial for already. But it's under paper shredder. If you're looking for it, it's under paper shredder. And electric cruling tool. And then here's a small one I made. Right here. Now, here's some different things that you can make. I mean, you can do the green down the middle, like this, and then you can singe the edge, or use an ink pen, a brown ink pen, and go around. Just don't make sure you don't put too much brown. Too much brown will make it not look real. And then, see, I make these little things, and I have my little pots, this is my little fern. Look how I put the yellow down the middle of that. You can make all kinds of flowers on your own. This is one of my melted roses out of plastic. That was from a water bag. You know, and then these are just aquarium rocks. Sorry, they're not old. I did buy a new one for that. Then this is like coffee grounds. This is those coffee grounds I was telling you. I use coffee grounds on most of my potting soil. And it turns out really well. And then these are some of this is my paper pot. This is a polymer pot that I made. And then here's all the rocks. Don't the rocks look great? And then little flowers. Now these are also plastic here. You know, and then a little hat. That was a coffee filter. And then I put a little plastic rose on there. But anyway, that's what we got for you today. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like it, put your thumbs up. And I'll have more for you in no time. I've just been working a lot lately. So God bless and have a great day.